Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Brickstop Live. I'm your host, Jason, and we have Jim in the house as well, co-hosting as usual. Welcome, man. How you doing?
All good, man. Good to see you,
Right on.
and happy to be here. Just a quick note, I'll get it out of the way very quickly. I'm just in a slightly different place. If anyone's wondering why the background's changed, it's just a one-off for today. Happy to talk about this, Jason. What have we got in store?
Yeah, so originally I was going to do Europa and some of the prototype Lego set designs, and then add my Musketeers designs, because I did like four or five Musketeers designs, which are very inspired and similar to the Europa line and some of the unreleased stuff. However, I decided, since all these new sets dropped, that we'll do a little bit of a news thing, and we'll take a look at some of these new sets, and then we'll look at the prototype unreleased stuff after that. And then we'll just call it a whole episode. So we're not going to really get into mocks today. Normally we try to load the back end with some sort of creative mocking and stuff, but we'll talk about maybe some mock potential for some of these new sets and things like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, looking forward to locking in on Europa, dude. That's going to be super fun. And we've got some new stuff that's coming out that looks quite exciting as well. So I haven't seen a lot of it yet. So this is like a genuine reaction for me as well. So that's fun. Yeah.
Right on. Let's dive in. Let's say hello. We got Chris Jones. Good evening, everyone. We've got Bricks and Fix Collectibles says, greetings, Crusaders in the house. Good afternoon from Atlantic, Canada. Lorem Artist in here. Switched it up again. Legal reasons. No, he's putting together some stuff, and so he didn't want any systems Lego stuff in his stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Just in case, we're all gonna get caught eventually by Lego.
I used to be retro red coats when I first started.
Yeah, gotta tame that down, bro.
I wish I'd kept it though for some reason. Anyway,
I remember retro red coats. Yeah, you were, or no, wasn't it retro brick coats, or did you change that?
No, it was just retro red coats, then retro space coats.
And then we got hello, Steven. Won't be able to watch the entire stream. I'll watch it later. We appreciate the rewatch for sure. And Black Falcon, Micah is in here as well. Hey. So we got some nice regulars jumping into the chat. Feel free to drop your thoughts and opinions. Yeah. So we're just gonna jump into the new sets that have dropped. And I don't have any like super crazy detailed info on these. These are just images that popped up on Instagram yesterday, and so we're going to take a look at them. I've been excited for the Creator Pirate Ship once I heard that it was coming out, and so this is finally some images on that one.
Nice.
And it's called, on the box here, it says Iconic Pirate Ship, which is kind of dumb. It's kind of a stupid name. I think in another like release or leak, it said it was supposed to be called like Legendary Pirate Ship or something. So I'm not sure if that name is all correct, but
interesting.
Yeah, here it is, man. What do you think? What do you think compared to the old Creator Pirate Ship, new Creator Pirate Ship?
I think I slightly prefer it. I quite like it. We've got some streamline. I like the run up to the Captain's Caribbean. I think the wall's a little bit vertical. I would like to see a bit more angle stuff going on around that back cabin. But from this angle, it looks great. It's a weird low angle. I'm not going to moan about brick-built sails because, of course, we know that that's the deal with Creator. We can't really criticize that. And the way that they've configured them is decent. That's how I would like my ship with proper sails to look. Sure. So I'm happy with that. I like the fact that they've just used black plates for the bow, not the bowsprit, that's the front one, isn't it? But you know what I mean, the where the sails are hanging. That's quite good. A throwback to the original.
Yard, is that the yard arm?
Yeah, that's it.
Something like that. Yeah.
Because normally they normally go for some sort of, I've seen everything from the pirates we talked about last week. They use tubes and technique pieces over the top. So yeah, I like the front. I think have they angled those lattice that we love so much, those 1x4 lattice low fence pieces, are they angled into a center point, or is that just the perspective?
I think it's angled in, which I actually really like.
Which is lovely. I love that. I'm all about that. Yeah, there was use of the slopes for the front underneath bit that we used to just 33-degree in the olden days. Yeah, on a whole, I think this is great. But my eyes being dragged to the right, as I'm sure we'll look further into, these alt builds, because the pirate ship, pretty happy with that. I like a black wave flag as well. Happy to see them back in circulation, I need a lot more black wave flags. So if they start popping in big quantity, which they
Good
will,
call.
it's creator and it'll be out for ages and it'll be popular, then I've got those back. So that's sick. So yeah. What do you think?
Good overall thoughts on the whole thing. I'll say what I think 1 second. We got great topic. Thank you, appreciate that. Chris Jones says haven't seen any of these before. Looks good for the right price. Yeah, exactly. Sales look a little better, says K2 Films. Welcome, K2. Good to have you in here. Better than last time. Better brick built sales, perhaps. Maybe they've refined them a little bit for this one. With the potential to build a little fleet. Yep, you got that. That's actually kind of fun with the 2 different skull and crossbones sales on all build. The alt builds in a second. We got sales womp figures, question mark, new cartoon aesthetic womp pieces. They're okay, but what is this, $100? I don't know. I'm guessing it's more than $100, honestly, Lorem. Sales I'm not going to criticize because again, it's a creator set. We're not going to get cloth sales. Figures are, in my opinion, 10 out of 10. Every single one is incredible.
I was going to say I'm surprised at that because I've got a torso on the right here, the woman by the bowsprit. That's very Europa.
Yeah, all 4 of these figures are new pirate prints, and some of them even have printed legs and dual molded legs. So they're kicking Star Wars butt right now.
I will pick this up, and I don't very often pick up a new Lego set. So.
New cartoon aesthetic. I mean, I actually liked what they did with the Smart Brick Star Wars cartoon aesthetic. I liked them turning it that direction a little bit because it felt like more like a toy that I don't know, like it's more of a kid's toy, which is what I've been realizing over these last few years as the adults have like taken over and Lego's catered all to that what I loved about Lego was that it was a kid's toy. It had this cartoonish kind of fun whimsy about it, and then I would pick it up as an adult and it was kind of easy to get a hold of because I had adult money and I was buying kids toys with it, right? And so now it's this premium product. It's all got all these, like, the whimsy's gone. They've made hyper realistic stuff for everything now. Everything's supposed to look exactly like it does in the movie, and I just don't care as much. So that's my one thing I would maybe disagree with is the cartoon aesthetic. I actually kind of like it. Kind of harkens back to the old school kind of vibes of the original Lego stuff to me personally. That's just my thoughts. As far as I like the octopus. I like them being in an octopus instead of like an alligator or a shark or something. The octopus is kind of fun.
They made a brick-built octopus look closer to a mold. Like they've used some good trunk pieces. That's great.
And I'm not a huge brick-built animal guy. I've made that pretty clear almost every time I've talked about any kind of animal stuff. I like molds over brick-built every single time. However, that's a nice little brick-built octopi.
Beautiful.
So overall, I think the original set looked more elegant in the back, especially. There's a shot from kind of the back angle of it sailing kind of into the distance on the back of the original box from the first time they did this, and just the buildup of the cabin and the arches around the windows, just an elegant, more fancy looking pirate ship. This one looks more like a tub. It's like a tub with cannons. It's it's gotten patched together a little bit. It's actually a little more piratey. You could almost take that other ship, the other creator ship, turn it into an Imperial ship, switch out some flags and things.
There is a good design of that as a blue coat ship.
This one is a tub. It's just a pirate, chunky pirate boy. And I kind of like it. I like that it's not the same. It's not the same as the other one. So
that's what I agree. Yeah.
Overall, I'm happy with this set. Let's take a look at the next one here. We got more comments in the chat here, but let me pull this one up here. So here's a little closer. These images are a little blurry. They're still like released, like leak images. But you can kind of see the pirates' torsos here. We got dual molded legs. We got printed legs up on the tower. Look at that corset shirt with the coin hanging at her neck and all of that. I mean, these are 10 out of 10 for me. I absolutely love this. And honestly, this little tower looks like an old Lego pirate set, kind of. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm overhyping this a little bit, but maybe I'm just starved for something in this style.
No, I think you've got to be careful because when you get so, this is the thing about trauma, when you get so accustomed to Lego abusing you, when they finally give you something you want, you don't know if it's good or not. Was it Stockholm syndrome or something? I don't know what it is. I think this is genuinely good. I do. I'm excited about it. Like that torso on the right, the woman with the pistol under the tree, that's very Europa specifically. One of those prototype Castle or Europa pictures has that same collar. So I think that's wonderful. wonderful to see that brought back. I think they've been looking at some of your mocks, mate, because it is that mine cart going in under that tower.
It might, if it's not a mine cart, it's like a mine for sure. There's maybe it's a dock. I think it's probably a dock.
Oh, sweet. Okay, there you go.
Like a dock coming out.
But it's
here,
very cool. Yeah.
I was
cannon out the roof. Sorry.
Cannon out the roof is great. And the crossbar across the roof to make it look like it's planked together. You know, I mean, I like the little cannons on the wheels out in front here. They did a pretty good job making that kind of out of parts because they didn't have the wheels there. Overall, I mean, I like the aesthetic. I like the part colors with it. It just, again, this kind of just looking at this reminds me of kind of like classic pirates a little bit. I don't know, you know. Again, it's creator pirates, but I don't know that we're ever going to get pirates again. So we got to kind of take what we can get. And I'd say 2 of these ships, get maybe the big build and then maybe get the fort, you know. It's going to be worth a lot more than, in my opinion, for parts, pieces, figs, the whole thing, than any kind of Star Wars set or something for the same price.
Oh, right? Yeah. I think I'm going to get my boy this and put it up till he's old enough. It'd be a good set for him just to pull out in about 4 or 5 years or something. It's a great one. Yeah, it's lovely.
K2, yeah. In fact, you can make 2 small ships. Actually, good-looking small ships, too. These aren't, like, cobbled together garbage. These actually look decent. And the fact that they have 2 different, like, like they're racing ships or something. I don't know. I think that's fun. It's not my favorite, but I think that it's fun that you can make these smaller ships because that also harkens back to all the little boats that Lego Pirates had. You know, all those little boats floating around and stuff.
It's the big picture, isn't it? Because there'll be instructions floating around on the internet, freely accessible for little boats like that. Now, for people who aren't going to get this set but have a decent library, you know, I could probably cobble together one of those little boats out of what I've got at the moment, just if I wanted just to see what that build was like, and then, you know, I get one if I'm really impressed. So it's I can't, you know, it's all round. It's quite a good thing. I think this is positive.
Black Falcon pirate ship splits in 2, and then those 2 split into 4, and then and there are like 6 little guys in barrels floating around. This is a better image. This is so sorry. I'm behind on the comments. This is the better image. Yes, there are actually, unless you're talking about this one too.
He said, "Is there a better image of the fort?" But
right, which he might have dropped this earlier until I switched to this slide. However, there are several images of the fort, including one from the back, and there's like hinging like sections I think that open, and so it's actually pretty well developed along the back there, that there's like areas that kind of open up and you can get inside, and they've done actually a decent amount of interior, like a building inside the actual forts too, so or for the fort. So yeah, man, I think it's cool. Let me read Crusader here, and I'm going to pop back. I think he's talking about the main build, too. So not as good as the last one, in my opinion. It lacks pops of color. The cabin is not shaped as well, and the mermaid figure was so cool. I like the Kraken, though, and the minifigs are exciting. Yeah, kind of what I said. The cabin's chunkier on this one. The last one was just an elegant-looking cabin. That's the best word I can describe it with. But this one, here's the thing, and this is kind of why I like this one. There are so many different varieties of boats in the pirate world. Yeah. And this one fits right in with a bunch of other different ones. This one looks like before you upgrade in your video game or whatever, you start with this one.
Tub. You start with the tub.
Yeah. And then, I mean, it's a little lacking in color. The other one had a lot more color. Sometimes I critique Lego Creator to having too much color for the theme it's portraying, like the
yellow in the castle.
Black Falcon's castle was too much for me. It just didn't fit for me. The Horse Knight's castle toned it down a little bit, and I actually appreciated that. There's a decent amount of color popping, I think, in this one, you know, with the blue popping out of it here and the red cannons and stuff like that. But I can get it being a little drab looking. There's a lot of brown coming off the side of this thing. It's just a lot of brown and nougat colors here. So that's fair. All right. We don't want to take hours and hours on these things.
No, it's worth a look, mate. I think it's quite nice. I think it's nicer than a lot of things we've had. And the other one was very good, but I quite like that. I'll probably pick that up.
General Tron, welcome. Spacer Nate says, the 3 builds look pretty cool. I was never tempted to build the alternates on the older ones. Yeah, they're getting better with the alternates. I mean, people are claiming the Horse Knight's Joust castle alternate is better than the original castle. I wouldn't necessarily claim the fort is better than the ship, but I will say it's more appealing to me personally. I want to see I want to see a Creator Pirate Island set.
Yeah.
Like, why's it got to be a ship? Why do I have to build an island out of a ship? How about I build a ship out of a Creator Island set? Like, so let's mix it up a little bit here. You know what I mean? Let's see. Changing the other ship to Imperials is exactly what I'm planning on doing. Perfect. I've seen it done, I think, already, and it's a great idea. 1,000 pieces is about how much the Galaxy Explorer and Renegade had. Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it's around $100. I mean, what does it say here? Does that say 1,000 on here? Yeah, 1,074. But with the prices these days, I'm guessing it might be 130 to 145 or something. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Just exciting to get Pirates theme again. Well, yeah, it's not the theme, but it is nice to get a set. And the figs are 10 out of 10. And, when you're getting into it, like, figs are what make the set, in my opinion, a lot of the time. And so these figs actually look incredible to me. So that is in Star Wars really makes it not a total bore. Yeah.
Oh, wait, where's the smart brick, Jason?
Jim, are you in a pub? No, he's in a music studio.
I'm not at the pub. I'm down at the studio. I've got some vocals to record after this, but not commentary ones. So yeah, I'll just say a little change of location. But yeah, the Skull's Eye schooner, if 31109 with the Skull's Eye schooner, this would be
fair enough. All right, fair enough.
Although I think, like, I don't know, it looks pretty big. This, we'll have to see. I need to see
he's talking style
or something. Build it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so you can get more images. These are just the ones I pulled kind of last minute. They're not super high quality. It's all kind of blurred out a little bit, but we got as high res as I could find at the time. So we got a Lego City train, old-fashioned train set here, which is kind of interesting. And then we have this roller coaster that harkens back directly to Power Miners. It's literally Power Miners, the roller coaster. So it's kind of cool if you like Power Miners. It's kind of not cool if you also like Power Miners, because this is literally the only thing you're ever going to get. So, it's kind of one of those things. But I thought I'd throw it up here because it is interesting. Cool. It's fun to see, or maybe not fun, but it's interesting to see Lego call back some of their most beloved themes.
I think they've chonked it out more than some of their roller coasters. Some of my criticism about their roller coasters is when it goes through a little base bit, it doesn't chonk out much. I like the way they built the rock work over the arch, I quite like some of that work there. So yeah, there's some cool stuff. I wouldn't buy it, but it's cool. But yeah, and I see what you mean. Like when you got the pirate one, we didn't know whether we were going to get any more pirates. I suppose it's a similar feeling for Power Miners.
Exactly. I mean, for people who care about Rock Raiders, Power Miners, or these other themes, you get like a roller coaster in City or a creator ship or something, and that's it for like a year. And then you get another little callback to something you actually cared about as a theme, but you're never going to get again. So there's that kind of bittersweet situation here. I know our audience might not be like super Power Miner heavy.
But there's a lot out there.
But it's here, and there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot to look at in Power Miners. It's a pretty cool theme, actually. I didn't love it as it was. Go ahead.
No, you carry on. You didn't really love it as a.
It's a theme when it came out. I was like, I was a Rock Raider kid, so I was like, this is kind of trash. But then how it kind of spilled over into, I think, some of the characters crossing over into Atlantis and maybe even like Alien Conquest and Pharaoh's Quest. Like they actually. I have to at least sit back and appreciate the thought and cohesiveness of like full themes with multiple sets directed in some of them multiple waves, all consistent with characters running through them and like a whole like developed system. I can appreciate that whether or not I loved the subject matter of everything, right? So
that's Lego doing what we love when they're decent, when they're on it.
Exactly. Exactly.
And speaking of which, I really, really like this train set. I think it's so well done.
It's pretty cool.
It's not actually loads of them, but I really like it.
It's not that many parts. 570 pieces is crazy low for a decently developed train set.
Careful place of parts and stuff, good part use and stuff. I really like it.
It doesn't look like a city set to me. Is the only thing that's kind of glitching my brain a little bit. It looks like it goes to a licensed theme somewhere. So I don't know.
Or a dated train or something, but it's cool. We could be just running the old Steam thing.
It's cool. I like it. I think it's a cool train for sure. It's very nicely designed. Like I said, it's a good use of parts because it's low part count.
Yeah.
I will say there is another train rumored, and it was the only set that I recall that didn't get leaked images of, and it's the Lego harbor, like port train that's coming out, and it's supposed to come with like, it's a cargo train next to a port with a big crane, and it's going to be like a whole kind of like the old Lego port systems, the Nautica stuff. I think it'll kind of harken to that. So I'm excited to see that when that leaks, because that hasn't been leaked yet. But that's the big train set that I'm excited to look at.
Yeah, amazing. No, that I think it's scale, isn't it? Again, seeing it on that scale, I'd have to see it in situation.
Yeah, and did you see the Lego City port that came out that's already been discontinued? But it had a red crane and a little nautical shop next to it, and a little cargo ship. So I'm guessing that set, the Lego City train that's coming out soon, or images will probably be dropping soon, that port crane and all that will go with that. And then we have this set too, which is also a Lego beach set, trolley with a little that matches that other set pretty well. So you've almost created this sort of Lego Beach City sub theme inside of Lego now with these 3 sets.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the first one is now no longer available, but I think
which just lets it down a bit, doesn't it?
Because I wanted to get it.
Yeah.
I just never got it. I wasn't able to snag it, and it was only like $100 for this.
And they could do what they want, reprint it, rerun it. They could do what they want. They could say, "Oh, this is back out again because we're doing beach stuff." They just wouldn't do stuff like that. So it would make sense. I know what you mean. It's the pursuit of having something that you can, because it's like the experience we had back in the day. We had a wave to look at, and we could decide, right, which one's going to get my hands on, and what kind of world can I build, putting these things together. And there was that cohesion and that thread through.
Totally.
That, like you say, you lose it a bit. And yet, whilst it's nice to have the member berries and the icons hit points, sometimes you just want to collect a wave, or have the freedom to get 2 of that set, or one of the, like we're talking about battle packs and army builders and stuff, all that stuff.
Sure.
So we come round to the same sort of points again. But for what they are, I think all these new releases we've looked at have been really nice builds to be.
Yeah. Well, I've kind of cherry picked the best ones, I think, in my opinion. So there was a bunch of ones that were fine, but I grabbed the ones that I thought would be the most interesting to look at, or the ones that I liked the most.
Good call.
Here, we got a couple of questions or comments here. Space Grenade says, I just built an alternate build for the 3-in-1 castle. Is that the Horse Knights one? And was annoyed by the parts not combining in even numbers. One of a part and 3 of another's. Has anybody else noticed that? What's funny is there's this big, basically look, let's glaze the Lego designers for being so thoughtful in their part consideration video that went up on internet, or it went up on Instagram a while back, where this guy, I think it was the guy that designed the helicarrier coming out, or maybe it was the Superstar Destroyer. It was one of these big sets coming out, and he intentionally put if there was one of the angle pieces, he would put the reverse angle hidden inside somewhere, just so if you ever wanted to use it as a parts pack, you'd have
that's great.
Which is funny then, now that he's looking at this one and it's like they didn't bother. They're like, you get 3 of these angle pieces that you can so it's only in some sets that they really put that thought and care into making sure you have reverse parts of the angled slopes and things like that, or even numbers, so you can build out something. So
it's not a given. They don't always do it.
Totally. And that's a tricky one when you're doing alternative builds from anything. It's already a challenge, and then you have to work with parts that you don't have 4 of when you need 4 of them, or something you only have 3 or whatever. So I get that. All right, you want to read the name here for me?
So some random man on the internet, 4620.
It just looked intimidating with no space.
Some random man. No, some random man on the internet, 4620, says, I hope they make a 3-in-1 set like this for one of the Imperial factions at some point. And I very much tend to agree, sir.
I would love that. That would be incredible.
That would be, to be honest, we've had renegades, we're having pirate ships, I'm hopeful for it. You never
Can't
know.
believe we're already... Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. K2 Film says, can't believe we're already nostalgia baiting with stuff from 17 years ago. Yeah, dude, with the power miners and stuff. Power Rangers, Rock Raiders better, says Lorem. I mean, I would agree with that. I think the colors of Power Miners was offensive. At the very least, they're very in your face. They're very bright, lime greens.
What's up with orange and lime, bro? I quite like a bit of orange and lime. Yeah. That's nice. No, I know.
Yeah, K2. That I was going to mention that. Yeah, K2 Exoforce roller coaster. Now Power Miners roller coaster. What's another theme Lego will make into a roller coaster? Yeah, that's a good question. Maybe an Atlantis roller coaster. Chris Jones likes the train set, so they'll probably get that one. Power Miners. Some random man on the internet says Power Miners roller coaster looks cool. No molded rock monsters. Sad though. Well, it's a creator set, I believe, or is it a city set? Actually, this might be. I don't know if this is a creator or a city set. If it's a city set, technically a molded animal could potentially be allowed, but creator, they don't like molded animals. So Lego's moving closer to one and done sets. Yeah, that's a whole nother topic for another time. The whole kind of mentality shift at Lego and the lack.
That's kind of how it is now.
The splintering and destruction of cohesive themes and multiple in-house creative things that promote creativity versus the one-off display piece, big one and done, like he said, sets that aren't really encouraging people to even rebuild or take apart or do anything with, and just to create display sets. So yeah, that could be a whole nother live stream. So I pulled this one up. Sure. I just like, city diversifying into different locations. So I'm always looking for new things there. That's why I loved their Arctic line, their divers line, their, what was it recently? Their jungle line. They did, a little while back, they did Volcano Explorers, so they've done, space even. So it was a city looking at other locations and stuff like that is fun. So beach is cool. We're getting more beach stuff. I don't know. Trolley's nice. It's a cute little build. This is funny because this train is less parts than this little beach display.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Yeah, 693 for this one. We've layered the plates up a little bit. Some big pieces for the tram line. But isn't that again a really nice tram design? It's got quite like. I rarely bothered at City, but they're quite nice sets. These. I like the dock. Is that a new mini ladder piece? I've never seen that.
Yeah. It's not super new, but yeah, it was. I think they showed up maybe on the micro scale Harry Potter sets and stuff like that.
Interesting.
I don't really like it, but it's working pretty well here.
I'm just thinking in pinches in some of the sort of your forestmen rattling up a tree inside when you're running out of wide space for a normal set of ladders. Vertically, those would be cool as rope ladders or something. But hey, anyway, I digress. But this kind of what some stuff like this is good for. If you wouldn't, sometimes you see stuff that's I'm not going to buy that, but there's things in that build that I wouldn't mind having a look through in the instructions and stuff and seeing how they did that and how they angled that stuff and pulled that off.
Totally,
because they do some great stuff. For as much as we sometimes rip on Lego and all of the business side of things, when they're actually doing what Lego do and designing this stuff, it's normally pretty decent.
It's pretty cool, yeah. I'm with you there for sure. I like the little suntan lotion bottle. That's probably printed. That's cool. There's pigeons. There's some nice wildlife. We got a recolor of the seal minifig, the little pug dog, pigeon, crab. I like animals in things. I like that it adds nice environment. The fishing pier is very cool, like you said. I think that's pretty cute. Overall it's nice. It's got a little bit of Paradisa, floating in here. Actually,
got a sea lion from my wolf pack water base.
You have the sea lions, new faction coming soon. Castle sea lions, royal sea lions. Get to the royal knights. Paradisa shirt actually on that fig there. That's kind of fun.
Of course.
Yeah, and the trolley was good in the what was the set? It was the downtown Christmas Main Street set 2 years ago. The trolley in that was great. It was such a nice design.
They can do a good job with them.
Yeah, trolley looks like something. K2 says trolley looks like something from California. Yeah, definitely. And then the Exoforce coaster was City. Yeah, Lego City and Creator, but I think the Pirate coaster was Creator. So like they mix it up depending on where because Creators had some like pretty big, like actually another Creator set that's coming out I didn't show is a big Ferris wheel, like a big Ferris wheel set. So Creator does a lot of entertainment circus stuff, but City will have stuff like that too. So it kind of crosses over there. So I don't know which one that roller coaster is for sure. But I wanted to pull the Lion in because they did something different with this one, and that is the 2 alt builds, which I couldn't really get close-ups of. Maybe I should have done a better job, but regardless, the 2 alt builds are the mom lion and the cubs. So if you buy 3 of these sets, you can get the main lion, the female lion, and 2 of the cubs. So you can get a whole lion family if you buy 3 of the set. So I thought that was kind of cool. Like, I don't know. Yeah. Instead of doing like, an ostrich, a giraffe, and a lion, they just did the lion family as a set. Like, so kind of cool.
Decent. I like it. My son's going to want it because he loves lions. So.
Yeah.
He's a bit young, really, but there you go. It's a good build.
Yeah. Space Renee says last stop.
It's
totally they're all here at the end of the night. Yeah. Let's see. Lorem's got a small nitpick about the lion. Those ears are driving me nuts. Those ears are now driving me nuts too. Thank you. Appreciate that.
I was like looking through, like, this seems really amazing. What's the thing that's annoying me? I can't tell. There's like, it's a reverse circular.
All right, two more. We're gonna jump into 2 more slides for new releases, and then we're gonna jump into Europa, and we're only gonna have an hour to talk about the Europa line, or not an hour, a half hour, because we're gonna try and keep this around an hour, guys. Just because we got stuff to do. I got work, and Jim's got some appointments to make. So, I just want to pull this in. Lego's been slowly releasing these smaller scale instead of the giant, big like UCS sets for the Diagon Alley and stuff. They've been doing little smaller ones for like 100, 150. You could buy them separately, which I think is a better move than doing a $400 or $500 street scene. I mean, I think they're both good. They do both, but I like that they're doing this. And this is the first time in a long time that we've got a representation of Nocturne Alley. Yeah. So just real quick, I mean, here it is. This looks cool. There's cool interior, and then the gift with purchase that came out a year or 2 ago is on the side here, and you could potentially add the like racks of skulls and creepy items into this. Perhaps there might be some room in the attic and stuff for this, so you might be able to work this alt build into this. I don't know that it was designed to fit. It would have been cool if they had designed this, not alt build, but gift with purchase. If they had designed this gift with purchase to go with this, that would have been kind of nice, but I don't think it is. Either way, you could probably just set it next to it, get the Flu network going in there. Fun times. So,
it's good. I think I wonder if Nervous Blacktron Engineer will do a medieval recolor of this when it comes out. It's the kind of thing he'd do.
Sure, yeah, it could. I mean, there's some potential for here for sure.
I like the sign on the smaller shop. I like this. Like sometimes we do those wrought iron signs on some medieval builds. That's a cool idea.
There's a couple of nice sticker, unfortunately probably stickers, but still it's nice to see the signboards and stuff. There's posters hanging on the walls, and I don't know, I just like the look of this. I think it's pretty cool. I don't know if that angle piece isn't a staircase, it's just the design, I guess, for the wall. It almost looks like a staircase to the loft, but I don't think it is. But it's pretty interesting. What was I going to say? I was going to say one more thing about this. Oh, just in general, the new Harry Potter potion bottles, the big ones.
Yes.
Dude, that's just a great piece. I think it's so cool.
Straight in Megisto's tower.
It's straight in Megisto's tower.
Is actually probably more.
And it's got what do you call it? Like Fabuland, like the big like pictures. It's got that vibe. Like the
finally I can substitute. Well, I couldn't get one of those in green, so finally I've got something to substitute, so that's cool.
Yeah. Well, and Jim and I were debating.
I said this, K2. Sorry, you go ahead, please.
No, well, just go for it, man.
No, well, me and Jason were talking about it before, and I was thinking, oh, cool, I could get loads of Space Police 2 windows, but I think it's bright, transparent, bright green. I don't know if it's dark green. It could be. It could be just the way it looks from the backlighting of the picture, but wouldn't be surprised if it's that newer trans green that is still pretty decent. They do make a couple of cool lenses for it, but if you try and make M-Tron out of it, it's not quite the same. Or if you try and make Space Police,
sure. Yeah, it almost looks like a knockoff.
Yeah.
Here's a good. Here's an interesting thought, Jim. Look at the windows in the lower image compared to that potion bottle, because the potion bottle is going to be that new bright trans green. So I think these windows might be original.
That's true.
These might be green.
Because if you look at the top one in the loft, it looks a little bit green.
Yeah, but if you think about it, I don't think that new transparent lime green or whatever would look that good in this many windows in more of a subtle Harry Potter set.
That's true. It might make it look a bit too sci-fi. Oh, maybe so then. Yeah, I'm really happy to be wrong on that then, because that would be great.
I hope.
For the same reason, K2, as I would also love lots of nice new lenses for Space Police. In fact, I quite like the way that they've taken that angled window over at the top. That could be quite, space-basy. You could do that. You'd have to do it carefully to make sure it doesn't look like office buildings, but you could do some stuff. Very cool.
K2 says the bottle looks almost neon green. It does. I don't think it is. That color has been retired. It's just the new version of neon green, because you can see like it on the fireplace in the little Flu Network one on the side here. What is this called? Borgen and Burke's Flu Network. You can see the potion bottle with the little jewel on top next to the normal transparent green bottle. So
and the green
I know it looks transparent neon green. We all wish it was, but it's not, I don't think. Looks like trans green would be too bright. Yeah, exactly. See, cool. He's already on it. Lauren,
I think you're right, boys. I'm so glad you're right. That's cool.
I hope it is. Yeah, I'm actually pretty convinced it is. And the last two I wanted to pull in. I know I'm not a huge Bitonical. Hey, we should do a new theme. It's
Bitonical flower metals,
but flower Bitonicals. What are we doing?
Bitonicals
and
botanicals, dog.
Yes. Lego Friends, not my favorite. Botanicals, also not my favorite. However, this little friend's cabin, kind of great.
Ravendell friends, I'll have.
A little recolor maybe on this. Get rid of those mini dolls, and you're cooking with a pretty nice display set and a very cool angle for a building design. So I can't hate on this. I need that chimney looks cool. I needed to bring this in. It's just a decent looking set. Yeah. And then
credit where credit's due.
I mean, the shrooms, like I'm looking at it as a parts pack. I mean, it'd be kind of maybe fun to build. It's very Pacific Northwest. All of my woods look like this. That we live in and grew up in. But really those giant toadstool pieces, and then the secondary one, the little one underneath the dome, toadstool prints, man, like, come on. If any of us like fantasy, fairy tales, we're going to be building these like elf mushroom houses. Like, what are we talking about? So that's what I'm happy for. These nice printed dishes, I think, are going to look really cool. The only thing this could maybe do better is a couple of the old tiny 2x2 little dishes. I don't think it comes with any of the red printed mushroom dishes. So of the smaller variety.
Like the ones we got on the forest. I know what you mean.
So tell me your thoughts, Jim. Let me hear it.
I love the use of the Smurfs hat for the Liberty caps there on the side. That's really nice. I really like that. I love the attempt to replicate fungus that grows out of the side of the tree in a flat fashion like that, with those disc plates and those half disc little tiles. So that's really nice. Not much to hate on. I mean, like, this is what a piece like this should be dynamic, should have a pop of color. The composition's nice. Everything's kind of in a pyramid coming up to that top mushroom. Yeah, not much to hate on. It's just making me feel like, and I'm going to have to just load up on dark brown and dark gray again, because every time I see this new approach to the base plate, which is snot built slopes and stuff with overhanging foliage, the more I think I'd just love to see some of my castle designs sat on something like that. So totally have to invest, but and so parts pack, for sure.
Yeah, as far as the design also of the set, again, I'm not huge on botanicals as a theme. I think it's kind of annoying at this point, and there's
Yes.
way too many of them. But it's kind of my favorite out of all of them so far.
This is my favorite so far as well.
I like it, and the composition's good. Like the ferns in the back. Like if I'm just gonna look at it as a set design, I think it's a good design. I like what you're talking about with the stumps. It also looks like the below here. I don't know if that's supposed to be more decomposing stumps that the mushrooms are growing out of. I think that's kind of what it's supposed to imply down there.
Much,
so. Yeah, man. Overall, cool set. Could be fun to build once and then strip down for parts, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we got here? Yeah, Laura Martis says botanicals are actually quite dope for things like alien forests. I mean, that's fair. There's a lot of really cool wild parts, and you could really get crazy with like some alien landscape with those. My buddy actually looked at it. I showed it to him, and he said it reminded him of a Star Wars planet he used to play in some video game.
Yeah. Well, those blue plants there would be like the size of a minifigure.
Yeah.
Those blue petals of that flower, sorry.
He's probably talking about Battlefront 2. The map Felucia, for anyone who remembers those days. I'm sure that's what he was referring to. But all right, Chris Jones says he's not into Harry Potter, but the set looks nice. Yeah, that's a pretty decent one. Crusader says the mushrooms are great if you like the Mushroom House Village Bricklink design by Hans Karm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did actually. I thought those were cool. And a little mushroom village that came after it. I think that's actually what I want to see more in Lego Ideas and in Bricklink design. It's actually interesting, traditional stuff that gets picked, like things that you can like get outside of the mainstream, right? So that mushroom village and house, I was like, that's kind of cool. Like it's different, right? I think honestly, they should absolutely ban any licensed products from being produced in Lego Ideas. I don't think that should be. Lego can handle licensed products. I don't need Joe down the street to tell Lego that we need a Star Trek set. Lego already knows that. And so then they can die. I don't know. Why are we letting licensed products be accepted in Lego Ideas? They don't do it in Bricklink Design Program. I think that should carry over to Lego Ideas personally. I don't know why I'm ranting about that right now. I got a comment up.
No, it's all relevant, mate.
What does K2 Films have to say?
He's saying, I know they wouldn't, but it would be funny if Lego made one of those mushrooms, the trippy ones. I'm pretty sure that's on the left-hand side with the little Gandalf's hat bit there. That looks like a Liberty cap to me, sir.
I think you were just mentioning
similar species. And that's as political as we get on the Brickstop podcast. But yeah, no, it's a nice composition. Both of them are nice, yeah. And just looking back to them all now, they've all got a lovely... it's a good offering from Lego this time round. Better than I've seen for a few waves.
And you guys can go check these out on your own. There's a lot of different pages dropping them, and there's a lot more sets. There's another 5 or 6 city sets. There's some cool construction things. They've downscaled the boulder that can pop apart to a 2x2 boulder that can pop apart. So we got new rock pieces for debris and mining and stuff like that. So Lego's produced some interesting new pieces that I think are useful. And so, a lot of sets of 50, 60 of them dropped. So go check them out. There's a lot more that you didn't get to see here. These were just the kind of the top picks from the Brick Stop, I guess, if you want to say that. So,
I appreciate you going through and sifting, because I can see in the choices that I can understand why you've chosen them. Really nice, really good food for thought for lots of different genres. You can extract something medieval from all of this that we've seen.
Sure, yeah. All right.
Right then, shall we look at Europa?
Yeah, let's take a look at Europa now that we've burned the podcast on new releases.
Okay. I think it's important to look at what's coming out. We the way that we're covering stuff, things will come round in a spiral. But I think it's good to cover stuff when it first come out. What I love about this slide here, Jason, just diving straight in. I don't know if I've seen these minifigs at the bottom.
So I found these on
great picture.
Eurobricks doesn't work right now for me. I've tried to load it 4 times. It doesn't work. I don't know if the site died or if it's just something about me being in America. But I haven't been able to, because they had some really good pictures of the prototypes on Eurobricks and I couldn't get them up. So I had to go find them from somewhere else. I think this was from on Reddit. Reddit actually had some good ones too. But these are some prototype minifigs, and we got prototype castles. If you guys aren't familiar with Lego prototypes, we do try to show some based on some themes, and so we might pop this castle back up when we talk about Black Knights or something again. But we're going to be going over a couple of prototypes. We're going to look at a couple of slides of castles, and then we're going to do what I would consider Europa, which is this kind of pseudo medieval sort of, or not pseudo, but this kind of hybrid, right? Medieval and pirate kind of line. But also like kind of colonial Britain, sort of, or colonial Europe. And these are all prototype sets, designs, and even like almost like poster displays, kind of like this one, right? So we're going to look at all those, and then we're going to look at the last one is more of a city prototype design that never got released. And so none of these ever really got released, but that's what we're going to look at today.
Amazing.
And yeah, looking at this, I mean, obviously what's funny is all of these castles and things that we're going to look at today are fully polished, finished Lego castles that could have just been released.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, look at this. How is this not a how is this not a castle that got released? Like, it's perfect.
Amazing.
It's as good as anything else they released. It's better than Fire Breathing Fortress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's
great
great pieces, and a couple of sneaky little differences in print and stuff. You'll notice those dragon shields look different. I think there's a double-headed axe at the top.
Yep. You got a trotting horse mold here, and you might see more of that later. It's hard to see here, but the white one in front, foreground, is a trotting horse. Some alt colors, like you said, the black barding with the yellow lion is alt. Yeah,
that's
I love all
the
alt deals.
Lion Knights. Yeah. Yeah, I love that color.
They're
I love to see
the shields.
Oh, for sure. I love the robe on the king minifigure prototype at the bottom, to see a male minifigure in the sort of robe using the slow bit rather than
this is the divine right to rule minifig right here. Look at this guy.
This is the guy.
100%.
Right, later we got King Richard, of course, with the Royal Knights, but this was the prototype, and I think that's Commander Bear, otherwise known as the Ice Planet Chief. Commander
totally.
Bear on the left.
I love the helmet crown in gray. Like,
it's cool.
It's like a battle crown or like a different
headbutt someone with that spike in battle.
Yeah.
Good. Chrome sword coming up probably a bit before his time with the chrome goblet.
Chrome goblet don't recall that ever showing up. The brown trees before brown, says Lorem. Before maybe brown trees. Yeah. I think so. Based on the timeline of these figs. And are those Black Falcon minifigs, or are those an alternative?
They look like Black Falcons, but when you look at the crest, it's slightly different. So it might be a different dragon. I think it's this faction that the castle belongs to.
Maybe.
But whatever this is, they're like griffins or something, or maybe dragons. I'm not sure.
It could be an alt. It could also them just subbing the Black Falcons in for this kind of a design to kind of figure out minifigs for it before they had new prints or something for them. So, because this looks like it's the time frame looks around Black Falcons and Crusaders.
Yeah, for sure.
But coming out with Black Knights with the bardings.
They're decked out just like the Falcons, but they're just like kind of end up being different. Well, all border white and black trousers. It's just an interesting cross-pollination of a few things, just while things were still being decided, I suppose. Yeah. But you can see they've still got the very wide panel diagonal wall there with the window that was from Royal Knights. We've got that here in like this was probably a prototype for the Dungeon Master's Castle or something. We've got those rooftops that we had in Magisto's Fire Breathing Fortress, sorry, but we've got 3 of them here. Not dead keen on the way they've just been plonked on the crenellation at the big tower, but I'd have to see the other side to see how that serves. But all in all, it's great.
I don't hate the profile of that. It just maybe could have used a little building underneath it. Yeah. It's also, this looks like a longer raised base plate than a 32. Is it not? Or maybe I'm wrong.
It looks like it, but I don't think it is. I think it's that. I think just the way they've come off the side. If you look at it, I think it is the base plate for the Dungeon Master's Castle.
Oh, okay. You could also
immediately.
It could also have, what is it, like an 8 by whatever along the, like a skinny, those little skinny ones that could you could put next to it and build over more wall or something. So they could add something. It just looks like it goes longer in the back. And then
I see what you mean though, and there is a bit of an inkling. Who knows?
Yeah,
it
it's
could
hard
be
to say.
a graphic of a tree behind it or something. Anyway, it's well built.
Yeah, let's keep moving on. We got I think this is a prototype of the actual like joust set that eventually did come out here. This one has more like printed ladies and stuff in it, which would have been nice to get. And it looks like maybe the figs are kind of more fun than what came in the old one. I don't know.
It's better. It's like a better joust, isn't it?
Than the one that they actually released.
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, I love the one that they did. Like it's such an iconic.
But that's set, it. But iconic was the first thing you said.
Yeah,
that doesn't it like looking. If we're very honest about what's going on, look at this nice little arch system here.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
We've got those nice axes. We've got minifig bardens. Mm-hmm. I think this one, if not, let's just say to be safe, it's at least as good, isn't it? I think.
No, I like it. I think the fig design and selection is better for sure. Love the unreleased crown, says some random man on the internet, and Forums Classics. Maybe Forums Classics will design it. Yeah. There's a couple of people online who are actually working on, doing instructions for some of these things, some of the Europa stuff, and actually even getting some designs ready to do some prints of some of those old torsos and stuff. So cool. People are really getting into it. They're loving it. Joe Hardy says, are they using 2 raised base plates on that castle? See, that's what I was curious about, but I don't think so. I think we kind of solved that one. Chrome swords have holes.
There's a possibility that it's a different base plate altogether. There is always that possibility. It's a weird vacuum form that's a bit longer. You never know, because we saw a crazy one earlier, didn't we? So those chrome swords have holes.
Yeah, and the hilts and the pommel's hollow.
String them up then.
Yeah, Iron Crown.
Says, Iron Crown indeed. No, I like this. This is good stuff. And similar again here.
Says wonder if Lego destroyed these parts or if they're kicking around somewhere. Probably kicking around somewhere, I would guess. Just another perfect castle, new raised base plate, giant ramp up there. I'd kill for that base plate. That looks incredible.
The build potential out front, all the little Bailey sort of little markets.
You could do market. Yeah, you could almost set up that joust right out in front here.
Or your wheel right stall or whatever. Take your pick. There's some around the side as well, even more. Brilliant.
And then gold mine. And I also wanted to point out these black panel wall pieces with the stone prints.
Yep.
Originally were intended to be much more available to everyone, clearly, because there's one on this, there's one on that. Was there one on this one too?
Yeah.
Well, there's corner
not ones. The straight one on that one.
Yeah, maybe along the back. But you can see, I mean, instead of only coming out in one set, they were intending, it seems like they were intending to put these into more sets. So a couple of fun things to point out here. We do have to keep moving, but Goldmine has some pretty cool things. You can't see it very well, but there's like a bear coming out of the door of that little blue roof thing.
Oh yeah, there is.
It's some sort of creature, like big old bear creature thing crawling. It doesn't make any sense. Don't know what's going on there.
But there was some bigger mold stuff going on around this time, like with the Scottish thing and the Loch Ness thing.
Yeah.
So amazing. I mean, I love it. There's so much going on. You got the tower with the the crane arm and the string set up, all your ramps. I like the way that they've implied the cascading water with different plates of blue. That's quite sweet.
There's a big billows. There's a billows out here for them to forge things. There's a giant hammer. You can't really tell, but there's a giant hammer on a wheel that smashes these into coin shapes. You got little pots stuck to the end of these little to make like what do you call those things? Like little forging, casting, tools and things like that.
So wait, can we do that with those pots then? Can we just shove those in the end of a bar?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's something special design.
I think that's some special thing. I think maybe it's glued in there for a prototype or something.
No way. We could clip around. That's cool though.
And they also use those little tiny, the little missile 1x1 circular with the four. 4 panel, what do you call it? Missile tail pieces, fins.
Yeah,
They use transparent yellow ones for torches.
Oh, wow.
You can't really see them.
Oh, yeah, I can see it's upside down with the fins
Yeah.
coming up. That's
So
really
this
nice.
is, yeah. So really, we're just taking a look at these things fairly quickly. But what's fun about this stuff is what it does is it opens the world up more to the things that are now rare and hard to get. Clearly showing that Lego did at like some point intend perhaps to make the peasants with the brown capes, right? The little leather aprons. There's like 3 of them on here, you know. So that would have been a more available part. The printed wall panel more available. So it's like it's just interesting to see even the little peasant torso, the gray one with the little pouch, you know, only comes in 3 sets or whatever.
Excuse me.
Now, it would have come in some of these larger sets in larger quantities if they had, you know, leaned into their original concepts here a little bit more. You know, even to the extent of making a oblong shield for the Lion Knights.
Yeah,
and that could be a black sword on his lance too. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So even that famous rare black sword may have come in more sets at some point. All right, so real quick, I did notice on this upper image that there's gigantic dragon plume.
Oh yeah, it's massive. Yeah, well, I've never that before. I think my brain just refused to see that. It's just stuck. It's a stud at the bottom, isn't it? It's a full. Stud.
It's like a full decoration of that dragon piece, which would have been awesome to get a hold of.
Crikey. Someone needs to get printing that.
Yeah, so this could be a new base plate. Looks like they might have widened the original base plate. Yeah, it's definitely a new one. This one up at the top is a completely different design than anything.
It's a different vacuum form completely.
And Rocks and Forest Quiver says, I'm rather certain at this point that the Crusaders are actually largely inspired by Charlemagne, although transported into like the 11th century France. Dude, I mean, a lot of this stuff was inspired by those types of things. So you're probably on the right track there. It's the new horse mold back in the 90s. Yeah, see, there's the trotting. You can see the little better, the trotting mold, you know, of the horse. Never released that one either. But
looks like it's on a little skateboard, like to make it go. Like
yeah. Lorem says, or Lorem Artist says, maybe I should get into vacuum.
Dude, that's the one. That's the one.
That white horse.
One more weird piece point out just while we're on it.
Yes.
Just back to put attention back down to the mine at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
There is, and I wonder whether it's a bit like our diagonal panel with a window that we get in the Royal Knight's castle that we've seen in a few of these castles, certainly the one above there. But it's a bit longer and it hasn't got a window and it's dark grey and it's underneath a little cabin with a blue roof and it sort of comprises most of that rock front.
Yeah.
And it looks like it could be a piece like that, but a bit longer, a bit bigger, and with no window, like a one piece for all that. It might not be, but it's hard to tell exactly. But it looks as though that's it, because on top you've got that sort of diagonal plate, that 10 by whatever with the cutout that we use underneath the space dome.
Yeah, it is longer. It's either 2 next to each other or it's longer, and it's probably on the other side too. It could have been one of those larger parts to build up like almost like a burp, but like more wall piece, where they just integrated into burps and things as making these nice angled areas for rock formations or large castle, like a kind of a foundation wall pieces. But doesn't look like it's ever really released as far as I can tell. And it's hard to tell from this image. You know, Lorem says it looks like the 444 modified, no window, in dark gray. It's hard to tell though because it looks longer, but they could have maybe added another thing next to it. It's hard to say. So this is actually Europa, right? This is what kind of what we were getting to. You got, you know, this more almost like a star fort back here, right? With the cannon up there. It's not really a star fort, but it's similar. It's got the same idea. And then these little like thatch roofs and this fort back here, and these ladies with the big what are they called? Pompadours or whatever, the big hair. I can't remember what they're called.
A bit like what we got on the CMF later, but it's a different kind of
yep. And it's a, you know, again, we're looking at this. It's the little trader riding a horse. It's the little trader from the port, the Imperial trading post. That guy is in here more prevalently. You got all the troops lined up out front. You got some new looking, you know, cavalry officers, windmill in the background. So this is the stuff. This is really what Europa is. And then you got Scottish guys up here with Loch Ness, literal Loch Ness.
I absolutely love this one. I
Yeah.
love that there's like a weird little goblin guy on the other side, and his
Yep.
little hat like a wolf man or
Mhm.
some sort of weird cryptic. And then of course you've got the Nessie there in the middle.
Mhm.
But there's something about this whole thing that I really like.
Yeah.
I've you see the wall panel piece in light grey from the Royal Knights Castle, but the
Yeah,
light
I
grey
see that.
version. I've got that because I've got the stickers, haven't I, from Brick Sticker Shop. So I've stuck a few of them on
Oh, nice.
some light bluish grey.
Mhm.
4444s, and they look quite cool. Just for
Yeah.
doing something like that later. But I like the composition of this castle as well. I like again how it does that thing that I really like when it builds up into the rock work a lot.
Mhm.
But then there's like that bottom window more closer to the water, so maybe there's some sort of dungeon or something
Yeah.
down there. Maybe
Well,
there's
it's on
something for the monster to pull in.
it's built on Enchanted Island.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
So there's got to be something down there.
So it's got a river
a
going
trapdoor.
along the face. Mhm.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
It almost looks like the one from Extreme Team, though, not the one from Enchanted Island. So as far as the print goes, it's hard to tell. But either way, yeah, it's that base plate. It's that side one,
Yeah.
they use in several different sets. But
no, they've done a great
yeah.
job with it there. They've really it's nice to see that base plate really built up on, not
Mhm.
just a little bit because it's part of a bigger set like it is in Neptune and Islanders.
Right.
The gate section with the drawbridge I particularly like, using carrying that slope on really high,
Mhm.
burying that door behind
Yeah.
that arch there to
It's very
really
nice.
give it that compact feeling. And then alternating, and we've got dark grey, light grey, and we've got dark green, prototype dark green, haven't we? Or is it normal green and it's just the way the photo's been set? I think it's normal green.
I would assume it's normal green.
Yeah, okay.
Looking at the sea
But
dragon.
even still, I don't think we got normal green lerps, just burps, didn't we, from that stupid big tower set?
Yeah, I think you're right.
So
and I mean, a big star here is also the figs, which you can't really see, but I can guarantee you there's some new printed figures back on these horses.
Sure.
It looks like they're bringing in a big barrel and a wagon along the back. There's a catapult with a nice function on the side here. And then there's actually a guy in a kilt and armor right on the gate. And he may have a spear or a musket. I think it's probably a spear, but and there's a fully armored knight above.
It's a musket with a bayonet, isn't it?
Is it? Well, if it's a musket with a bayonet, then
no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm lying. Why would
Okay.
that be the case? It's a spear and a shield. It's a spear. It
Hard
is.
to say.
It's a spear. You're right, mate. One's got a short sword on the back crenellation as well. But yeah, no, you were right. It was a sword. And also, above that little goblin thing on the other side, you'll see a parrot. It looks like it could be a different mold, though. It could be the original, just the way the picture is, but it's like a weird. Looks weird. I think that's just
This Spireus base over here is kind of wild.
Yeah.
But it looks like there's a bridge across. It's hinged, so there's opened areas. So there's some interior going on. I think the star of the show for the Loch Ness is the Loch Ness. The sea dragon is absolutely crazy. Lorem says, need that freaking sea monster, man.
Oh,
yeah, that sea monster is incredible. It's so cool. It integrates some of the classic dragon pieces.
You'll have to.
But overall,
sorry.
No, go for it. No, I was just
No, I'll let you finish overall.
Overall, well, yeah, no, I was just saying. Overall, this is kind of the quintessential Europa. What do you think about when you think about Europa? Is going to be this one down below here, this colonial town with fort and like the troops. It's kind of like hometown as opposed to them being out in the pirate worlds. Yes. This is kind of like their home base. So it was civilian and military. But it was all mostly or actually completely grounded with like taverns and like shops and very much, I mean, look, you can see even this little bridge going over here. They used the Forestman's River crossing. Didn't they? Or maybe not. No.
Bridge.
Yeah, it is. The little bridge out in front with this little white yellow thatch roof. Is it two of the Forestman River crossings stuck next to each other?
It is. Yeah.
Or is it a different way? Hang on. It looks like a 32 with a river going through the middle of it. Oh my goodness! So it's not a non-released, but it even has the little white dots on it for where to place the wall.
How much that would be worth?
What?
It's got the dots. Yeah, you're right. That must be worth billions or something crazy. That's amazing.
It doesn't even exist, man.
Those huge slope pieces on the star fort thing.
Oh, sorry, hang on.
Wild. No, keep going, man. That was just wrapping up.
Yeah.
And medieval wise as well, to speak on this, Jason, this is amazing. Some of the stuff's great.
Oh yeah, I mean, look at this. You got a tavern with a little horse head on the the horse head tavern down here on the bottom. When you got a clock tower, you got a black statue. All of these are like almost Renaissance musketeer style.
Yes.
Minifig prints. So many. I mean, some of these guys have like puffed sleeve type things. There's got you got these guys up along the top here. These wagons, these peasants. You got all these. I mean, these are straight up here. You can see even some of these guys holding rapier designed swords that never got released until way later. Something similar got released, you know. But like, this was again. This is why I say it's almost a cross between Castle and Pirate, because here's where it kind of needs
this is
more.
Lorem, get some of these torsos printed. This is like alternate torso heaven down here. Look at all these torsos.
I don't think incredible. There's almost no actual released ones, except there's a Lion Knight, and then there's the Peasant and the Necklace Girl, and the rest of them are completely new designs that never got released. We got corner building with this dragon sign and these red Tudor panels. So again, you know, we got a bunch of cool stuff that never got released that would have populated out the parts libraries for a lot of people. It almost looks like there's even a printed or stickered like wall panel that's like a half panel popping up around here, like with some of these with the little window arch.
There's a red one on the top one with like some sort of ivy printed on it that creeps out in brown, which is quite interesting. The color combos are interesting, and the sort of continuation of the Tudor panel effect in some different pieces is quite cool. Of course, I like that.
It's not even and it's not quite even musketeers. It's almost like the Zweihander, like European guys, where they have the giant swords that like are all ripply with the blades and the puffed sleeves. It's almost like that time frame, which I'm not sure what that time frame is.
Because there's a Crusader coming through the gate on this bottom one.
Right. But like, so I think they've, since they're prototypes, they kind of populated it with random stuff. But let's see. Pull up a couple of comments here. Black Falcon Micah says, as a European, I can confirm this is Europa. Some random man on the internet says, some of the torsos on the bottom have arm printing.
Yes, they do. They got
that's the puffed like slit sleeve there with the little like cuts in it. You know, they have arm printing. So this is like, we think of arm printing as like Boba Fett Cloud City. Like that's the big time that arm printing showed up and things got crazy. That was something they were clearly able to do in like whenever, the late 80s, early 90s. They were already figuring stuff out. They just never really
didn't roll it yet.
They didn't go for it.
Crazy.
Reminds me of Prague. So the well design, here's, you know, I may have subconsciously just stolen that little arched roof of the well design. I use that on so many. It's those boulder weird half or quarter.
That was already musketeer builds, actually. It's on one builds.
I use it a lot. It works so well for an old school dome effect.
It works well for like a Spanish villa as well for the top in blue. They flawless. Some fantastic stuff. I like the you've got the roofs using what I presume is the old standard 5-stud diagonal piece, but then one of them it kind of hatches out with a trapdoor to change the angle. Simple system era solution, but just giving you the dome and window in a nice simple way, and it still holds up nice. It's
So this is kind of it's good stuff. It's a look at some of the non-released parts, prints.
Oh, the awning. Can't let the awning go on. The blue awning on the same building.
Oh, look at that.
The new awning piece.
Beautiful.
That's a weird new piece. Shutters with rounded heads on off the top pitch as well. And, of course, those cross windows. So, I mean, you can see all this stuff online, like Jason said. We're just sort of glancing over. But you know, we can go and appreciate some great parts that are popping up here, mixed in with the way of building that you all know and love. It's great to see.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's
pure inspiration.
It is. It's very much Ideas book feel, you know, Lego Ideas book image feels. Spacer Nate likes the top. That top left town looks incredible, says.
Right.
What's cool is seeing two different styles, right? You got the stud exposed roofs on the lower buildings, and then it's like, or you can use very steep roofs, which I really like on that back one. with the red and the gray
That's
roof, and then
right.
all these just like plates. You could just, or not plates, you could slope out the roofs and make it. This is what that looks like. So you got two like kind of examples of interesting, like, you know, medieval era, kind of Renaissance era roofs here. I also want to point out there's a wall panel or something on that red one, which Ivy printed up the side of it. Do you see that?
Yeah. No, that's what I was talking about with the branch one. Yeah, I don't know whether it's a full one that's hiding behind or whether it's. Yeah, no, I think it's Ivy. Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I was wondering, is it Ivy? But,
yeah, I think it is. It looks like.
I mean, there's loads. Look at the new Tudor thing below it with the window in. That's weird.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was curious. And
some
it's
of
arched.
it, you don't know exactly what's going on.
There's also arched shutters. Do you see that? Arched shutters that clip to those classic door hinges that go over those arched windows. None of that stuff has ever been released.
Like a saloon, they'd be good in Western as well. For
yeah. The steep pitched slope roof in gray is crazy. I agree, Spacer. That's crazy. And the real shutters are printed. I see the clips, and it could be a little harder to see on your guys' end because you know you were streaming it. But I see the clips on those, dude. Those are actually clip.
They are clipped
shutters honestly, that you can clip on to the. Yeah, which is just makes them so much cooler. So, all right. So that's Europa. Originally it was going to be Europa and then end back of the show, a bunch of Musketeer builds that kind of were inspired by Europa using some of the parts and some of the concept, but my own design with some of my own like art and stuff and prints and things that I put into them. We'll look at Musketeers another time. I wanted to load the front end of the show with a bunch of new releases just so we can kind of stay on the heartbeat of the, you know, the fandom.
Well, that's good because I've nearly built the second of my brick stock Musketeer builds, so a bit more time to try and finish that so I could show you what they look like really built. That would be cool. So that's a good thing. So yeah, to be continued, I guess.
Yeah. We'll get into it.
I like this one. This get the gangster sort of theme going on. Yeah, the buildings in this are off the chain.
Yeah, this is just as a cherry on the top. We're gonna sign off. I know we both have work to get to, and we got things to do.
I'm happy to stick around for a moment. Just you've got to speak on this
because we're talking about unreleased stuff. We covered some Castle. We dove into Europa. This is what the best thing I can call this. The best name I come up with is Lego Prohibition. Like. That's what it is. And, you know, you got, I don't know if this is brick printed on the bank here, but like, dude, the little old school Ford trucks and cars with like the runner boards, the Uzis and the machine gun, the not the Uzis, the Tommy guns, it looks like.
Yeah.
They got the little Tommy guns. They've got the pickups. You're using some, what do you call these? Some Fabuland, maybe some molds for some of these trucks here. The car chassis, barrels of oil. You got octane represented. You've got, look at this. Look at, you talk about awnings. Look at that one.
Yeah, the awning piece is back again, but this time it's got the corner bit with it as well, and it's striped. So that's like a two-color one, unless they're individual pieces. That's an amazing mold.
We got steamer trunks, it looks like, on top of the cars here with little lids that clip onto them.
Yeah. Fire engines. Fire.
Yeah, you got the firehouse. Yeah, you got the bank or the Ritz, the post office, the bank. Yeah.
I like the claw bar, or whatever it is, the yellow building at the back with the two different roofs.
One, and do you see this? There's behind on the base of that. There's another printed brickwork.
Oh yes,
a bunch of these. So it's a panel of some sort.
Printed panels with bricks on,
and then chrome on the cars. You got the
at a glance, they sometimes look a bit like the brick on those doorway pieces that came out later.
Or the little 1x1 or the 2x1 panels. Panel, half or quarter panel, like
a 4x. I don't know how many high. If it's two stacks on, or the art way, it llooks like it's like a 4x20 high or something, or 16 high or something. Crazy.
Yeah. So this is this is a feast for the eyes. And then you got the literal drug running boat yacht up here parked with like gangsters hanging out, legitimate like Al Capone. Looks even like he's got a chrome gun he's holding here. So this boat design, molded boat piece is really cool. It looks like they've got plenty of new prints. Perhaps a couple of printed dresses. Looks like the gal by that little yellow house you like. She's got like a 1920s dress print on.
Yeah.
They got hats. They got all these
Burlesque
hats.
stuff going on.
It almost looks like
Well,
some
that's the
burlesque
club, so
type
that'll be the
dress.
burlesque house, won't it? Basically.
Okay, so that's what that's probably. Yep. So yeah, if you can kind of squint in and get an idea, there's some decent little new prints. There's some old city prints being used too, and some pirate heads and stuff like that. So it's not all new, but like,
sorry,
no, you're good.
Some of the details are really nice as well, though. If you look at like the post office at the back with the black slope solution we've seen, but then they use like black heads on top of jumper plates for like that little fence panel we sometimes use for that, or something, or two, panel pieces linked off. But that solution, like there's lots for the mock artist in this.
Totally.
Even if the piece doesn't exist, you can then think about what we've got now and make a solution for that. It's great food for thought. This
lots of little decorative. Yeah. Same on the firehouse with the heads up there. Some random man on the internet said the same thing. Love the roof of the post office, especially the black head pieces, like you just pointed out. Lego Mafia says Black Falcon. Yep, this is what this is. Lego concrete shoes. I mean, 100%. Yeah. Barbershop says Bricks and Pigs Collectible. Barbershop is crazy. That's crazy. It's so good. It's got like Paradisa slope windows, it looks like, or maybe a entrance in the front there that's on a sliding. Yeah, I don't know. Like there's definitely some prototype pieces in here. See those gray barrels or those trash cans on the back of that truck?
Yeah, have they not been released yet?
Dude, those
the blue
look like
one by the
dark gray ones. Yeah, and that's got the horse head, which is the same sign as this one.
Yep.
On that tavern, so like they're reusing that horse head, and I think that horse head actually does show up eventually on a Lego set for like a little horse ranch.
There's an alternate universe where this is what Earth got, and they were looking at like Tron and Black Knights on their on their prototype podcast.
Right, exactly, dude. So that's it. I mean, I wanted to drop this final one. Yeah, primary colors like the Dick Tracy movie.
Yeah, exactly like that. Actually, I'd forgotten about that. Well, Dick Tracy. Wow.
Yeah. White stairs with red railings. Yeah, going up into the post office is crazy. That's insane. Also, I was going to point out the fire escapes. So they just use those stair pieces, but they just clip them to the side of the building and let them. Some of them just hang.
Terminate halfway down the bank one.
Yeah. And then, of course,
you get the money.
And you got the right, exactly. And you got the power poles.
Yeah,
which are pretty much. I think they're just.
Is it a mast and some?
You know what? They might be a mast. I'm looking at the bot base. It looks a little different. I thought at first they were just stacked one by one rounds.
It's like a different version of the headlamp piece that's base is 1 by 2, and then I think maybe you could build up on it at the top, or it could just be brick built. It's hard. These are things that are hard to tell on the resolution, such as the door to the hotel where the big black space there. That's hard to make out exactly.
Right. Yeah, it looks kind of fancy.
All in all, though, you can see there's new stuff going on, new pieces.
Yeah, they got little fedoras and like wide brim hats, and
so cool, man.
Bunch of stuff going on in this one. I mean, we could look at this for a lot longer, but I just wanted to pull this one in at the last because I mean, this one doesn't fit super well in other things. I guess we could have pulled it into like maybe a Nautica talk or a port city talk or something, but here it is. We're looking at it now. So this was kind of our historical prototype unreleased Lego theme talk. So there it is, man.
There it is.
All right. Well, that was it. That's gonna call it for the live. I think we gotta get going here. So
for sure.
Thank you everyone for
pleasure to have everyone in though.
We had a decent group of people dropping comments and engaging, which is always nice. It keeps the conversation lively. So thanks again for all the people who subscribed, all the new people jumping in. Definitely drop a like, rewatch it, put in the hours. And share it with people if you think they're going to enjoy it. So,
for sure. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Another great talk. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah. Have a great Monday, everybody. Have a good night, Jim. And we'll talk to you guys next week.